Let's see what the first Pokemon are for both trainers. Briggs is starting with a Pineco in the opening round, while the challenger leads with a Tinkatuff. Welcome to Sprucewood Village. I take it you are here for a gym battle. Well, we don't often see many travelers since our village is so remote in the Canopy Forest, and when we do, they are usually here for a gym battle and to face the gym leader, which is me. My name is Briggs, and it's wonderful to meet you. If you would just give me but a moment, I am finishing up some work on this little evergreen here. No doubt you passed through many adult versions of this tree on your travels here. I am the caretaker of this forest. My ancestors planted many of the trees that you traveled through on your way here. And I am the next in line as their guardian and shepherd on their journey to become the next grand member of the Canopy Forest. Yes, you might be wondering why a bug-type trainer is so infatuated with trees, seeing as though many of my Pokemon utilize them for food. But who better to care for a forest than a trainer whose Pokemon rely on them for so much? I believe the ecosystem in this forest is cyclical in nature, and all parts are equally as important and reliant on one another. That balance is what creates strong habitats for strong Pokemon, which you will no doubt see during our battle. I can say I am impressed that you found your way here. Not all trainers who enter the forest find their way to Sprucewood Village. Most paths that are more commonly traveled lead around the village. It is the path that is harder to find and harder to traverse that leads a trainer here. So, I do know that you have traveled, no doubt, quite a ways to get here, so I will not keep you any further, and we will get on to the pleasantries of battle. I will go ahead and register this as an official Pokemon League sanctioned battle for the cone badge, of course, if you are indeed victorious. And you are aware that our battles are streamed live on the Pokemon League network, and our live on-site commentator will be calling the battle, correct? Alright, I just need you to sign consent there to be recorded and broadcast. Excellent. Thank you. And that should do it. Are you ready for our battle? I am as well. May the best trainer win. Let's head out to the battlefield. Welcome all to another relaxing gym battle here on the Pokemon League network. Today's challenger takes on the Sprucewood Village Gym Leader Briggs and his swarming bug-type Pokemon. Let's see what the first Pokemon are for both trainers. Briggs is starting with a Pineco in the opening round, while the challenger leads with a Tinkatuff. That's a great move from the challenger to take advantage of the bug-type resistance of their Tinkatuff. Let's see how Leader Briggs responds. Tinkatuff begins with Metal Claw, That's some solid damage, but Pineco's defenses make it a tough opponent. And Briggs's Pineco responds with a takedown. Not very effective. Another Metal Claw from Tinkertuff, which has to be wearing down Pineco. This time Pineco tries Rollout. There just isn't an effective move against Tinkertuff yet in this battle. Tinkertuff will try to finish here with a Draining Kiss. And that will do it. One Pokemon down for Gym Leader Briggs. A strong showing so far from the challenger and their Tinkertuff, who still has a large amount of HP remaining. Briggs decides to go with his Parasect. Let's see if he can get through those defenses. Tinkertuff strikes first with Metal Claw, normal damage. Parasect goes with Stun Spore. Looks like Leader Briggs is looking to try to slow down his opponent. And right on cue, Tinkertuff is unable to attack due to paralysis. Parasect now capitalizes with Absorb, slowly whittling down its opponent. Tinkertuff pushes through its paralysis and counters with a Draining Kiss, moderate damage this time. Parasect switches up its tactics and instead applies a Poison Powder. That poison immediately causes damage to Tinkertuff, whose health is running low. It may be now or never for the challenger's first Pokemon, who strikes with another Draining Kiss, which is good enough for the knockout. But that lingering poison results in a knockout for Tinkertuff as well. The challenger is in great shape, however, here, with 2 Pokemon left against Briggs's ace. Gym Leader Briggs chooses his final Pokemon, Fortress. This tank won't go down easily. The challenger goes with Marshtomp. Marshtomp begins the battle with Water Pulse, a solid move for moderate damage. Fortress hits Marshtomp with Bug Bite for damage in response. Marshtomp again uses Water Pulse. This battle will be in the favor of the challenger if Briggs can't shake up this pace. Searching for answers, Fortress strikes with Heavy Slam, but that Steel-type move isn't very effective against Marshtomp with its Water and Ground typing. Marshtomp looks to close in on a victory here with another Water Pulse. Fortress is just hanging on. Briggs utilizes a Super Potion to buy Fortress some more time. The challenger decides to switch up the attacks and go for a Rock Throw. Solid damage on that attack. Fortress uses Rollout for minimum damage. Marshtomp again with Rock Throw. This Fortress is getting low on HP once again. That Rollout again hits, this time with increased power. Now it seems as though Marshtomp is the one on the brink. With what looks like its last attack, it goes with Water Pulse. That's a knockout. That's a win for the challenger. What a battle here today. Briggs will now present the Cone Badge to the winner. Well, that was quite the battle. Congratulations again for your victory. It was well earned. I have to admit, those defensive strategies that you implemented were quite tricky for me to deal with my bug-type Pokemon, and you did appear to be quite prepared for the type matchups. So, once again, congratulations. I can, and it is my honor to award you with the Cone Badge. This badge will allow you to continue your journey in the R&R Pokemon League, and will be a sign of prestige amongst other gym leaders, since they too know how difficult it is to not only find Sprucewood Village, but to leave victorious. So, congratulations. I would like to also offer you the move Bug Bite. This move is quite unique since it allows the user to not only do damage to the opponent, but also consume a held berry if the opponent indeed is holding a berry. It is a bug-type move, and I do hope that you can find a use for it. Once again, congratulations, you've earned it. Now, if you don't mind, I will continue a bit of my care for our little evergreen tree here while you pack away those items. So, do you know where you are headed next on your journey, or will you simply be going as the wind takes you, like they say? Really? Leaving the forest? Well, I don't blame you there after being in the forest as long as it sounds like you have been. For someone who is not native to these parts, it can be quite a tiresome and stress-inducing trip. Of course, you're welcome to rest here in the village as long as you would like, stock up on gear, and, of course, heal your Pokemon, which, judging by our battle, your Pokemon might not need too much healing. You, of course, were able to best me using only 2 of your Pokemon. What was your 3rd Pokemon, if you don't mind me asking? Really, a Duskull. That would have been a very enjoyable battle as well. But I must say I was extremely impressed with your Tinktuff. How long have you had it? Really? That's not long at all. You have done quite well in training it. Captured it here in the forest. I thought it seemed as though it was a forest Pokemon, judging by its strength. I have been with my fortress for a long, long time. Today it was not victorious, but I assure you it has won many battles for me and is an excellent Pokemon companion. This is actually one of its favorite types of trees, which is why I intend to plant it near the battlefield. That way it has a nice familiarity with its surroundings during our battle. It's always important to replant any trees that have been damaged or have seen fall to the sands of time. Beginning anew with a fresh sapling is always such a great feeling. So, once you leave the forest, where will you be headed? Really? To the Salt Flats? Well, I must say you are a glutton for punishment on your travels. That's not an easy road, but luckily there are quite a few nice stops on the way. I know there is a Pokemon daycare along your route that is nice for helping the training of any baby Pokemon or eggs, if you happen to have any. And you do have a Pokemon egg. Well, be sure to stop by. They may have a few tricks and strategies to help that egg along its way to hatching. But at the end of the desert there is, of course, Stone Falls, the famous city, the gem of the desert, some call it, but a hardy and tough place to train. So don't be surprised if you face quite the challenge there. I heard their gym leader can be quite brutal in his training methods, but fair in his approach. So do look forward to that. I think I'll keep the typing and other information a surprise for you. It's best to find out on your own in the midst of your journey. And of course, no doubt you will find opportunities to capture new Pokemon, I'm sure. And meet new friends or foes along the way. There was actually another trainer from... Where did you say you were from? Huh? Well, it just so happens that there was another trainer from that same town that came through here not too long ago. But I must say that they were not nearly as friendly, and I took pride in defeating them in battle. But they did say they were headed in that similar direction, and they were in quite the sour mood, so do have caution if you do encounter them. But I think that just a few more spritzes here will do the trick. Alright. Well, is there anything else I can do for you before you leave? Alright. Well, it was a pleasure to battle you, and it was an honor to provide you with the cone badge and that bug bite TM. And thank you for spending just a brief moment with me while I tend to the trees. It can be quite the solitary activity, after all. So please do take care of leaving the forest and enjoy your travels through the Salt Flat Desert. And do contact me anytime on your Pokegear if you have questions or concerns. Good luck. It was great to meet you.